welcome to episode 99 of the Nerds at Large Gaming Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Darby Hallman.
I am Jeff, man.
Jeez, almost triple digits, Jeff.
Yep.
It is almost there, and as I just talked with Jeff, we're probably going to cop out and not have a podcast next week, unfortunately.
Or at least a full one.
But we're going to have something way better than a podcast. We're going to have our E3 predictions, betting, spectacular extravaganza, especially.
Yep.
All that's going to be in the title, the whole dang thing. Me, Jeff, Will, and Jacob, all members who are on this podcast a lot, are going to be competing. Well, Jeff's not going to be competing. Jeff is the game master. He has put together a game with a bunch of crazy questions. He's talked about having a bit that might involve a wardrobe change. It's going to be awesome. So that's what you're going to have to look forward to next in this podcast feed, probably instead of an episode. And then it's E3 time.
Woohoo.
Which at twitch.tv/nerds at large gaming, you can see us react to most of the conferences. We might miss one or two. We're not 100% sure.
I'm thinking the only main one.
Oh, and I can do Nintendo by the way now.
Sweet. I think the only main one I have to miss. I mean, we're gonna have to do Microsoft late, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I make all about Ubisoft.
Okay.
As far as
Yeah, so look for that. We're going to be reacting
and
live.
Kind of funny, I guess,
to pretty much all those conferences, and then we'll have post-conference discussions that will go in the podcast feed. It'll all be on YouTube. All of that stuff. I'm so excited about it. It's kind of crazy that we're E3 all of a sudden. And
yep.
suddenly
I was scared because I told you I had work. We got a new guy, so I was worried about schedule change. My schedule did not change, so I'm still on for Nintendo.
Nice.
You need me for that one.
And my trip got pushed back. We're doing it the following week, so A-OK for E3.
Sweet.
It's all good.
It's all good. And Darby, if we're not doing a podcast next week, depending, post E3 podcast could be our 100.
Our 100, yeah. We didn't even do it on purpose.
Depending, I mean, there may be no reason to do it the week before E3 a podcast.
That is also true.
It would come out the Monday of E3. There's no point. We're doing a bunch of other stuff. There's no point.
Yeah, so it probably
we just discuss whatever comes up in some other post.
Yeah, we're already going to be doing a full prediction things. So, I think we good.
So get ready for, I guess, our episode 100 being post E3 podcast. That works out.
It works out. Hey.
Though, we might not have a full podcast like Dark said. We'll have the betting special.
Mm-hmm.
We might do some little discussions depending on what happens this upcoming week.
Yes, because there is some exciting stuff in the pipeline. Just really quick before we get there, I said I was going to mention it. I'm also just recently got Elder Scrolls Online. I haven't played a whole lot of it, but I'm probably going to talk about it in the future. So just look forward to future Darby talking about that in the future. Future Darby talking about it.
And potentially me. We're talking about just playing it,
Yeah, we want to get into an MMO. If you have advice for an MMO that's not subscription-based, because we just cannot...
Otherwise, it'd be Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah, it would be Final Fantasy 14. But if you have suggestions, we are open to it, and maybe we can play with other people if people want to. Yeah. All right, Jeff. Let's get into that news jingle.
Jingle, jingle, jangle. I guess this is technically news. A little different.
Hype news. It's a hype block.
This is gonna be the hype block, like Darcy said. We're gonna have a hype sandwich.
And what is the hype sandwich?
There are three different things to get hyped about, Darby. Two of them, which is the bread, are stuff that are confirmed to get hyped. That is confirmed things that we can get hyped about. The middle one, the nice juicy meat in the middle, is a rumor.
Ooh, that's you need the rumor to make the sandwich just
exactly
come together.
And especially the rumor's true, that will be the little talk we have.
Yeah.
So let's get into that.
Absolutely.
The first one.
No, dude, I'm excited.
Yeah. The first piece of bread is.
Let's get this bread, Jeff.
Let's get this bread. So it's kind of a simple thing. Kojima Productions posted earlier today, because we're recording on Monday, later than normal. The countdown of Death Stranding has started. May 29th. Create the rope.
Which is the weirdest tagline.
It's Kojima.
It's Kojima.
It's Death Stranding. I don't expect any normal saying.
Someone out there at least thinks they know what it means. But
it's hype.
That is hype. So what did you say exactly? You said the countdown started May 29th. Yeah. So do you think this is just going to be another weird ass trailer and then no release date or anything, or do you think that we might be getting, especially since Sony's not at E3, do you think this might be the kind of like, hey, you at least know around when this is coming out?
Yeah, I can see a kind of general area as far as release date. I'm expecting / hoping, this, no matter what we see, it's going to be weird, and we're going to question our existence.
Of course, I would be disappointed if not.
But I'm hoping what we're seeing, the weird thing we're seeing is gameplay, more gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
Get a better idea of how this game plays, what it's all about.
Yeah, which the last trailer we finally did see stuff that looked like it was like in-game moving around. We didn't see anyone really do much, which, who knows, that might be the game. They might be more of a walking simulator type thing. It's kind of weird how little we know for how many times we've seen this game. Yeah. But I get that it's just kind of what Kojima's going for. But yeah, I agree. I hope that we walk out of this at least just... We're never going to completely understand Death Stranding. I think that's kind of the point. But I at least want to know, what am I doing? Mm-hmm. Like, what am I physically doing with my controller? Like, what kind of gameplay am I going to be doing?
Yep.
Yeah, that's interesting. And it also, we kind of just had this conversation before we turned the podcast off, so maybe we can redo that conversation. But it immediately makes me think, like, yeah, it's weird that we had a state of play
last month.
Yeah, like just a few weeks ago, and then now we're getting this, and there's another game that we might be getting information for.
Yeah,
and it's kind of interesting that this was not a part of that.
Mm-hmm. I think part of it is, and we talked about it, like why Final Fantasy 7 and not this and the next game, which spoilers is The Last of Us Part 2. Yeah. But what was I? Oh yeah, we talked about why Final Fantasy 7 and not these two games. For Death Stranding and Last of Us Part 2 news is gonna get people excited and get people's interest in Sony, most importantly, no matter when it's released or how it's released.
Yeah.
For Final Fantasy 7, it will get people hyped no matter when and where, kind of like Last of Us and Death Stranding 2. The important thing with Sony was they wanted their name attached to it. Yeah. Because whenever we talked about the trailer, we usually went into it saying the State of Play trailer and stuff like that, mentioning Sony and their brand pretty much.
And just thinking of Final Fantasy 7 more and more of a PlayStation title,
Yeah,
that's a big deal for these companies. That's why Activision probably pays an absurd amount of money and stuff, or there's a bunch of money paid somewhere or whatever for like the Call of Duties and stuff like that.
So Square was ready to show this, and so Sony's like, okay, well, they do State of Play, I guess. I mean, none of this means anything. We're just kind of guessing.
Yeah,
I guess obviously. Yeah. And Death Stranding, Last of Us may not have been ready as far as trailer goes, or they didn't want any of the mix of the three of them to steal each other's thunder or anything.
Yeah.
So,
but also, like, kind of depending on how much we see of these two trailers, if it's like substantial things for both Last of Us and Death Stranding, then it's going to be even, like, that's going to communicate to me even more that Sony had enough for E3, but they don't want to be at E3. It's not like not going to E3 because they didn't have the stuff. It's like, I honestly am starting to believe that, like, Sony just, like, and even by a lot of Sean Layden's comments, that they just don't want, they want to do other things. They don't want to be a part of E3. And if you have, like, Last of Us and Death Stranding release dates, those two alone would have been enough for us to probably say, like, yeah, E3, good conference, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that. They may also want to have been, I guess, depending on what else that they potentially would have ready to show. Yes, Last of Us and Death Stranding new trailer / release dates are hype, but it's, again, showing the same games that they have been showing for the last couple years. So it may have been, they didn't want to focus on those games again.
Yeah, I mean, they've done that a lot of E3s recently.
Yeah, and again, like I said, no matter when they drop trailers or release dates for this thing, people will be talking about it.
Yeah, I mean,
and since they're doing it, presumably before E3, well, Death Stranding definitely, as Last of Us, we'll need to see. Before E3, they get a lot more focus on them.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I mean, both of these games could drop trailers at 3 a.m. and never.
Yeah, I mean, let's say, Death Stranding's on Wednesday. That will be the talk of the day.
Yes.
Let's say Last of Us is like a Thursday on Friday. That will be the talk of that day in the next couple of days, especially if there's a release date.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we instantly go from there are not too many big fall games to like, oh, this is the big fall game, like for single player games go.
Yeah. I mean, I think we easily could see. Like, I love E3 to death, and I hope it keeps going because it's so hype, and that's like, we love getting excited about announcements and seeing cool new trailers and everything. But I honestly think like Sony's probably not going to see any change in like at least with their first party titles. I think The Last of Us and Death Stranding are going to perform just as well whether they were at E3 or not.
Yep.
And I mean, it probably like I bet Sony at the end of this year, the financial people like. When they take no hit, like financially, they're going to be like, see, we don't need to be paying an absurd amount of money to be at E3. Like, we don't need it. Like, I bet there's going to be a lot of board meetings where they're pointing at the numbers and be like, see, we don't, it's fine.
Yeah.
We're fine on our own. And Microsoft might see that eventually and say the same thing, but I kind of hope not because their E3 presence is so fun. But,
Speaking of that, supposed to get a 2-hour conference from them.
Yeah, and I think we both trust that, like, previous times when you've heard 2-hour conference, you get scared, but with Microsoft, I actually, at this point, kind of trust that they're going to make it worthwhile.
All right. Yeah. So
do you have anything more on Death Stranding? It's kind of hard to say anything before we know.
Yeah.
Before we see it.
No. It'll be exciting to see whatever the hell it is, even if we're confused.
Or even if I've never played Death Stranding in my life, watching these trailers has been entertaining enough to where, I'm glad it exists.
Yeah. We talked about some Last of Us, so we can focus on that now. So, main reason this is being talked about, is a couple of Spanish websites, I think, but the main one was Game Reactors reporting that there will be Last of Us 2 trailer this week, and that the game will be released this fall. The main reason that Darby and I personally are like, is because Novell on Twitter posted about it, but he'd say, take your gaming console, doesn't mean anything. But someone liked the tweet. Someone named Jason Schreier.
I was about to say, you could probably guess who it was.
Yeah. So, and he has said before that unless something changed, it's going to release in the fall. It has a fall release date. He's said that before.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I feel like also, because he obviously knows a lot of things, if he didn't think this was happening, he probably would have said, fall release date true, maybe no trailer this week, blah, 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 stuff like that.
Yeah, Jason usually doesn't put his name on things unless he...
Yeah.
I mean, things could change,
And,
but I think at this point with Last of Us, it's spring 2020 at the latest.
Yeah.
At least
This
plans,
yeah. And, I think Jason Schreier knew that people would read into this.
Oh, yeah.
Like him liking that, so...
I think he's smart enough to know that, yeah.
So I think that's reason enough to believe that there's a good chance we will get a Last of Us Part 2 trailer that may or may not have a release date for this year.
Which is hype.
That is hyped. That is very
hype. Again, I think I've said a bunch of times, The Last of Us Part 2 is kind of like Avengers Endgame. I don't want to see it. I just want to walk into it. I just want to have it in my hands. So I hope that they can kind of continue on the path of like, I feel like so far in The Last of Us Part 2 marketing, they've just given us things out of context. Like here's like a random scene that lets you know the tone and lets you know like how good this game looks and just it's going to be dark and it's all these other things. But I'm not able to like piece together what the plot is.
I mean, even the first trailer screams like something that isn't really in a game. It can show like the theme of the game and maybe some general idea.
Oh yeah, that scene might not even be in the game.
Oh yeah. That's one that's probably not in the game.
Yeah. And then the second trailer was characters that we don't even know, which was interesting. It's like, oh, who are these people? I don't even, you have no way of really piecing it together. You can speculate things.
And the the gameplay reveal was, hey, seeing what characters we don't know. So, hey, this is where Ellie's at. And then a very out of context gameplay thing, which we have no idea what happened there or...
Right, like that could be anywhere for any reason. We don't know what led.
It could be any part in the game.
yeah. And I kind of hope that they keep going down that path. Like obviously they're gonna have to kind of ramp up marketing, but I just really don't want to. Like I don't want to see Joel at all in any of these marketings. Obviously, except for the first one we saw him like walking up. But I kind of hope that they just like we go into Last of Us not knowing like what happened to Joel. Is Joel alive? Is Joel in here? Like what's up with him? Like I hope that we don't know that by the time the game comes out. I think Naughty Dog's smart enough.
Yeah.
Smart enough to know that that's where people are at.
And I feel like Sony will trust Naughty Dog enough to let them do.
Yeah.
Somewhat, somewhat what they want with the marketing.
Yeah, but man, we might be getting Last of Us this year. That's definitely gonna bump up 2019. Not that 2019 was struggling or anything, but that's something serious.
Yeah. Okay, let's get to that last bit of
Last of Us Part 2 and Final Fantasy 7 Remake probably within months of each other. Probably, maybe,
maybe.
But
you know what is coming out this year, Dari, and we know 100% for sure.
What's that, Jeff?
Pokemon Sword and Shield, baby.
Yeah.
So the reason why this is part of the hype train is, I'll say this first. Tomorrow, as of this recording, so May 28th, there is a Pokemon business strategy presentation that's going to be streamed at 9 o'clock Eastern time, 9 p.m. Eastern time.
So this is like a business meeting or something?
Yeah,
like
where they're going to show off a whole bunch of random stuff related to Pokemon. I think this is where they announced Let's Go last year.
Okay, so this is meant for the public?
Yeah, I think they're streaming it.
Okay. It just
like Easy Allies
like,
are reacting to it.
It sounds like something that's like a buttoned up business financial meeting, but I guess.
Yeah, I mean, this should be some of that, but they're going to be announcing things like this is a place where they could announce like potential Pokemon side projects, like side spin-offs.
Okay. Pokemon Snap.
Yeah, that's what people want. So stuff could be announced there. That's not the main hype thing. But it could be hype depending on what they have.
Yeah. But the more important Pokemon
I will try to watch
related announcement.
Yeah. They announced a week in advance, and I think it's because this business meeting was happening, so they didn't want people to watch it expecting this news. Like news related to Sword and Shield, and be like, where was it? When they have a direct plan for next week.
Yeah.
That's why it was announced.
So now you know
there's a Pokemon Sword and Shield Direct next Wednesday, June 5th at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. RIP West Coast.
Wait, what time?
9 a.m.
9 a.m.
Eastern Time.
Wow.
So it's 6 a.m. in the West Coast.
Yeah, it sucks. Sucks for, Easy Allies, kind of all of them.
So I'm going to do my best to react to this. I don't work that day.
That's good. That
I could have reacted even if I did work. It'd just be because it's 15 minutes long. It starts at 9.
Yeah.
I don't have to be there till like 9:45ish.
You would have been pushing it pretty close.
Yep. but now I don't have to worry about it and go back to go to sleep afterwards.
No worries. Yeah, I'll probably have to work, but like you at least should. I mean, not that I would be able to react to that anyway, but
like,
I can. At least
I don't think there's any reason for you to get up that early. Try to do that.
No, I'll just make sure you're set up and you can publish everything, or I can do a lot of that on my end. But we'll do that. But yeah, what do you like? What are you thinking is gonna be here? Because like, correct me if I'm wrong, but we've seen like remarkably little compared to other Pokemon games at this point. Right?
I feel like I could be misremembering, but I feel like we definitely got more of something by this point. Because it's been a couple months, I think. It's announced in February, right? Yeah, that
sounds about right.
So about 3 months with no new news.
No Pokemon, not even just little like, hey, look at this. Thing.
So it's definitely time to see new stuff, which is exciting. So we'll definitely see a couple new Pokemon at the very least. I think it's too early for the second stage evolutions.
Yeah.
I think they do that more towards the end of summer normally.
They probably still have like gameplay stuff to
gameplay.
cover.
This is 15 minutes, so. But this is the Pokemon Company more involved, like in this. They do more of their own thing, so I have a bigger fear than let's say the Mario Maker 2 Direct, which was the same amount of time, about this having some kind of filler like this is what Pokemon is.
Yeah.
But part of me feels like they may not do that. They could maybe go into more what the region is going to look like and all that kind of stuff. Maybe how the gyms work in this. New Pokemon, which is the most exciting thing. Yeah. For the most part.
Because it depends on how many of these they plan to have before the game.
It's kind of weird. They don't... Usually, they don't have too many directs. Like, this is the second Pokemon Direct, and I don't think they usually do, like, multiple directs for a mainline game. They usually just drop trailers and stuff and magazine stuff.
Yeah. But maybe this is how they're doing it this time, since there hasn't been
I'm okay with it.
Activity.
And also kind of an exciting thing as someone who likes a lot of Nintendo's properties is the fact we got a Super Mario Maker Direct 2 weeks ago now. Or was it? And the Pokemon one the week before E3. Is those two should have less of a focus at their Nintendo's E3
yeah.
conference, and
Yeah.
we get more information out of them.
Yeah,
At that point.
now that we know about this, I'm expecting Pokemon's presence at E3 to just be like, this is happening, hey,
Yeah,
yeah.
and
maybe, like, here's 2 Pokemon. Just
I honestly expect if we see any new Pokemon, it's just going to be during the gameplay section of the Treehouse for Pokemon, which is going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
That's how I think Picky Peck was announced for.
Picky-back.
Yep. Was announced for Sun and Moon.
Okay.
I am excited for this. Like I said, I'm planning on reactions. Hopefully my computer works with me this time.
Yeah.
I'll try to test things more out in advance.
I mean, absolute worst case, you could just do audio, but we want that video. We want that video. That sweet video.
So, Direct next week, and then easily the week after. Hype!
Man, things are ramping up.
Yep, so yeah, Darby, was that a pretty hype section?
That was quite a good meaty hype sandwich that we just consumed
Yep.
with the mouths of our mind.
Yep. So, I'm curious. I think because of the Mario Maker and Pokemon kind of more stuff, more likely we might get a good bit of Animal Crossing information at this Direct, like everyone wants.
Yeah, now like
that's fair. Like I won't care. Like I'll sit through this. Animal Crossing fans deserve it.
I'm not gonna be bitter about that. Like no, yeah.
Even if it ended up being like Smash kind of thing last year, it's like go for it, Nintendo.
Yep. Yeah, there's probably plenty of people that were like, oh, that's a bummer. Smash, I know don't care about Smash, and I'll be like, yeah, whatever. I don't care about Animal Crossing, but a lot of people.
Let me.
So many people do.
Let me change that. Probably will not be like last year, where the final 28 minutes are Animal Crossing, because they're obviously getting in with a new Smash character.
Yeah. I would be surprised. I would be really surprised.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move on to the main news, Darby.
Alrighty.
Jingle, jingle, majangle.
Jingle, jingle, jangle again.
Okay, this comes with Jason Try Good Talk. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm just going to summarize it. Kind of a new Call of Duty leaked. Yeah, it's called Call of Duty Modern Warfare. It's a soft reboot of the Modern Warfare series, and part of the reason this might be called Modern Warfare, just straight up Modern Warfare, because this would be Modern Warfare 4, and the original Modern Warfare full name was Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare.
It's so complicated.
Yeah.
Needlessly
Activision has been
complicated.
showing the game to press and influencers for a week or two. So Jason's right. So the leak was inevitable. Yeah.
Inevitable.
Yeah. I have trouble saying that word.
It's a weird one.
Yeah.
It's a weird word.
Blah, blah, blah.
But
Jason Schreier has heard from many sources, and about being a soft reboot of the first one, developed by Infinity Ward for this fall release. It'll be heavy on troubling, realistic, emotional moments. Fun. Yeah. That's me.
Where's the stuff about the development studios?
Oh yeah. Kotaku also broke the news on Saturday. Activision's mega popular military shooter series has been in flux, with Black Ops Studios Treyarch taking over lead development of Call of Duty 2020 from Sledgehammer and Raven.
Yeah, I think that's the more interesting part of this, is that
their strategy is kind of ruined.
Well, and this is kind of the first time we've seen this falter. It's been the 2 and then 3 studios alternating Call of Duties back and forth, and it's just been a well-oiled machine that's gone and gone and gone. And then now, this apparently there were enough problems that Treyarch had to step in, even though they just did last year's Call of Duty. They had to step in, and they're at least it sounds like they're leading the charge now. I think is it Infinity Ward or was it the other one that they're replacing here?
It's Sledgehammer.
Sledgehammer, okay.
And Raven.
Yeah, it sounds like Sledgehammer is still involved, but they're the lead was taken from them and given to Treyarch, which it's just interesting. I mean, stuff like this happens in game development, but it sounds eerily similar to BioWare. Mm-hmm. And all of Jason's reporting about BioWare, how kind of each division started getting resentful towards the other, and there was inter-studio problems. So, I mean, who knows how much this will affect it, but I don't know. It's just interesting too, because now Treyarch, instead of being able to get started on their next game, they have to do this, so it probably puts them behind schedule.
Yeah.
Which probably puts whatever else behind schedule, and it can kind of cascade like that.
Is Call of Duty dead?
There you go, we got the soundbite. Absolutely.
Just real quick. I forgot to give kind of credit to the person that originally came from YouTuber Log Sensation.
Yeah,
it's the one.
But also they say in here, we didn't read, but they say that like they want moments very much inspired by like the No Russian campaign, which I know you have no clue what that means, Jeff. But it was a long time ago, like in the Modern Warfare 2, I think, whatever, the one that everyone liked. There was
Modern Warfare 2.
I think it was Modern Warfare 2.
It's just right there.
There you go. There was a scene in there where you like walk. You're basically an undercover agent with terrorists, if I completely remember it right, and you go into an airport, and
you
just
gun down
mow down people.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, and it's. I mean, you didn't read that, did you?
I didn't read it, but
that's what I'm saying. They can't read it. But I'm just wondering how that goes today.
Yeah,
because like when I think back on that, like I was like way too young playing that. Like I mean, it was rated M. I shouldn't have been playing it, but it's not. I'm not saying it's their fault, but oh boy, it's like messed up. Especially just with like I don't know. It's pretty hard stuff. So if they're going back to that kind of thing, we'll see. I hope they handle it right. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, we might find out soon, Darby, because apparently we might be hearing stuff this week. We may not be talking about it for a while, but
so are you expecting? Do you think they're going to do anything with Blackout this year?
That's honestly the thing I'm most interested in seeing how they handle.
Yeah.
As far as because because as we talked about before, battle royale games seem to survive on being continuously updated and stuff, and if people may not be so if Activision, even if let's say this is the only time they do it, they make a new battle royale game with this new Call of Duty, that's telling their audience that even if, again, this is the only time that, hey, you'll have to rebuy a game every single year to continue playing our battle royales. Right. When it's Fortnite, it's like, hey, we're free and we pretty much update things and more substantially and more than everyone else.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's when you're competing in a genre where you're kind of a dinosaur when you're doing that. Like as far as the top dogs, you're the only one that like, yeah, people are having to go spend $60 for. And like my cousin who like is obsessed with Fortnite. I mean, like, yeah, his parents probably let him do that much Fortnite because it didn't cost them anything. I mean, that's the type of thing. Like, it's just people can play hours and hours and hours of Fortnite and Apex for no money, and it's hard to compete with that if you're Call of Duty unless you go a more free-to-play model. If I was advising them, I would advise them to this year make Blackout at some point free-to-play. And maybe you give the people who already bought the game like an extra incentive or something to make them feel it worth it. But then after that, just have Blackout run as something separate from your main Call of Duty games that just runs and collects stuff. You know, that's what I think they need to do. But Call of Duty's in an interesting situation where they still sell an absurd amount of copies and make an absurd amount of money, but it is going down. Yeah. Like it's still like pretty much top of the industry, but it is going down. So it's like, do you make the call? Do you ride that out as long as until it crashes down to the ground, or do you make the change now while you're on top, and then like try to prolong it? I honestly don't know what the answer is because it's probably hard to convince shareholders to go away from this model when they're making millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars.
But they can also point to, hey, this is what Fortnite's doing with the free-to-play stuff. Yeah. And they're making $1 bajillion. Yeah. Compared to our million. Shareholders like, bajillion? What? That's bigger.
That sounds bigger.
That sounds fancy. Speaking of fancy, Darby.
So fancy.
This comes from Sal Romano from Gamatsu. Yeah, I'm just going to read this one. A song about some fire writer George R.R. Martin has consulted on a video game developed in Japan, the novelist said in a blog post. Back in March, YouTube channel Spawnway published a video discussing and regarding the next project from Dark Souls and Bloodborne developer From Software, which stated it is an open-world title in which George R.R. Martin is one of the lead writers, with various kingdoms to visit and abilities to obtain from killing the leaders of those kingdoms. A person familiar with the ongoings at From Software told Gamatsu that the project, said to be known internally as GR, Gamatsu has been asked not to only share the acronym, and in development for the past 3 years, is an open-world title with horse riding and collaboration between Hidetaka Miyazaki and George R.R. Martin, published by Bandai Namco, which will be officially announced at Microsoft's E3 2019 press conference. While I have not been able to verify this information through additional sources, we have decided to share what we have heard in light of R.R. Martin's blog post. And this is a note I added. According to Zoe Delahunty Light of Games Radar, the game is called Great Rune, and it is set in a Norse world and will explore Norse mythology.
Okay, so obligatory thing as a huge Song of Ice and Fire fan.
God damn it.
This sucks. Please finish the book. Okay, that like putting that completely aside, this is cool. This is really cool. I mean, FromSoft's an awesome developer, but and Sekiro, like from everything I've heard, like went further into a more like telling a narrative, whereas like Dark Souls and Bloodborne was more just like kind of mysterious lore. But depending on how much George R. R. Martin is involved with this, it could be really cool if like they're making an awesome game that plays really well, and if George had a decent hand on the story and just kind of developing the open world, that could be really cool. I also do think that like George R. R. Martin might have had a very minor role.
Yeah, it just might be enough to be like they can put his name on it, like they put his name on the trailer and people are like ooh.
Which, yeah, it helps. It gets me interested. I've never been really interested in many FromSoft games, but I'm a huge fan of George's writing, you know.
Yeah, I'm stealing this from Easy Allies because, you know, that's where I got it from. Kyle Bosman, I think in particular. Yeah, it's going to be interesting, or kind of sucks for other games at Microsoft's thing, or just Microsoft in general, because now that we know this, every time we see a horse come up or someone riding a horse, we're going to be like,
Is it time? Is it time?
And then it's not there, and we're like, oh, this is cool, but
It's not.
So, yeah. And, you know, who knows? This may not be true at all, so. But at least.
But also, George in his blog post said that he was consulting with a Japanese game, and we've already heard these rumors for months. I mean, like, I would be really surprised if it wasn't the case.
Yeah, the Japanese thing, him working with a Japanese company, true.
Yeah.
The whole, I guess, the thing that more likely to maybe not be true is the Microsoft E3 conference thing.
I'm not going to say I'm like disappointed that this is not a Game of Thrones game, because like, yeah, it just, he's a good writer, and just anything, you know, that he would be consulting on would be cool. But seriously, can we get that Game of Thrones game though? Like, I mean, the open, like, when I just see The Witcher and how they turn the fan of like the lore built from a series of fantasy novels into like such a crazy awesome open world, that could so easily be done with Game of Thrones. There is so much to draw from. Like, it kind of just writes itself for open. I mean, it would be hard. It would be a hard game to make, but like, I really hope someone makes it at some point.
Someone someday will probably make it. Just maybe not from software.
Yeah, probably not from software.
Yeah,
but I hope someone does. I'll even take Bethesda Game Studios and just hope that it's not a broken mess. I mean, if it was CD Projekt Red, would be my first choice. But yeah,
they're busy with Cyberpunk and Witcher 4.
But I guess maybe we should talk about like, what do you think about FromSoft doing an open world game?
I find it not really interesting.
Something. Yeah. That's my only thing.
Sekiro's, well, I guess all their games are kind of open. Sekiro sounded like it was more open than their other games.
Yeah, I haven't played Sekiro. I've seen a lot of Dark Souls and Bloodborne. Like, they're kind of semi-open world, but they're not what I think of like, when I think of Horizon and Witcher. And it's like you're going across this expansive open world, fast traveling, doing all these things. I don't think any of those games, including Sekiro, correct me if I'm wrong, anyone, but like I don't really think that those are that.
Jacob?
Yeah, Jacob, please correct me if I'm wrong.
We get a call.
Right now. This is not even live. But that's the only thing that worries me at the slightest bit, is that because of this, it might be kind of stepping out of their comfort zone. Yeah. But I think FromSoft's good enough.
Well, here's the thing.
They made Deltarune or whatever. What was the... No, that's the Undertale thing. What was their VR thing? It started with a D.
Oh,
Deracina, yeah.
But... You mentioned Horizon. That was a first-person shooter.
Oh yeah,
company. So.
No, yeah. It's not. I'm not saying that this means like it can't be done, but that's the only place where it's like.
No, I get it, but in a way that makes it more exciting, like a FromSoft game more exciting, even from an outside perspective. Like, okay, yes, they're masters at their craft. Let's see them go out of their comfort zone into a more open thing and see how it goes.
Yeah.
I wanted to succeed, whatever they're doing.
Oh, well, I'm very interested.
I like when talent succeeds.
I'll admit that George R. R. Martin makes me more interested.
Darby, you want to talk about something that I know will not interest you?
Absolutely. Love talking about things that don't interest me.
This comes from Liz Lanier from Variety. Portland-based Panic has a shiny new game console called Playdate, and a slew of new games to go with it, the developer announced Wednesday via Twitter. Playdate is a bright yellow handheld console with a black and white screen and a crank. No, not for power. This little crank has functionality in some games for the new console. The crank is a gameplay element for the first confirmed game for the console called Crank and Time Travel Adventure, which is from Kieta Takahashi, creator behind the imaginative KOTOR Movie. In this game, the little crank will be used to control time itself. Moving time backwards and forwards is necessary. Other games won't use the crank, according to Panic. The console will have 11 more new games, but they won't be revealed ahead of time. Each week after the console's 2020 release, a new game will be available in what Panic is calling a full season of games. Pre-orders for Playdate will begin later this year, and the console will cost $149 US.
Can I ask you a question, Jeff?
Sure.
What did this do to deserve to get on our podcast? What did the Playdate do?
It added a crank.
What did the Playdate do?
I mean, if we're honest, it added a crank.
If it wasn't for the crank, it wasn't getting a spot.
Probably not. Well, and a game from the mastermind, KOTOR Movie. It's pretty cool.
What is this? What is it? What is it?
So you're getting one, right, Darby?
Day one, dude. It's like $5.
It's the
CVS,
PS5
right?
and Xbox Scarlet Killer. Let's go.
$149. I was too busy judging it and did not even hear that part of it. We'll see how that goes.
We'll see how
that goes.
Jared Petty's excited.
It has a crank. See, if the GameCube had a handle and a crank, Jeff, would have been successful. Would have been successful.
Yeah.
That's what all new consoles need. Switch should have had a crank.
That's what I've been saying
for years.
Honestly, since the N64, I've been saying the Switch needs a crank.
Needs a crank.
Okay. Next story comes from Adam Banghurst from IGN. Sony Interactive Entertainment has announced the launch of PlayStation Productions, a production studio that will take Sony's catalog of video game titles and franchise and adapt them for film and television. As reported by The Hollywood Reporter, this new enterprise will be led by Assad Quizelbash and overseen by the chairman of Worldwide Studios at SIE, Sean Layden, and is already in production on its first slated project and has set up shop on the Sony Studios lot in Culver City. So yeah, they just kind of go into talking about we have a bunch of franchises, blah blah blah.
Sony,
yeah, from Last of Us.
Just look at PlayStation All Stars, one of the best fighting games of all time.
PlayStation has been home to many different stories across many different worlds. Sony believes that with a library of more than 100 original properties ranging from adventure to sci-fi to action to mystery to horror, PlayStation Production has a wide breadth of content ripe for adaptation. Unlike most video game adaptations that are usually a game studio licensing out its IP, Sony will be producing these projects in-house with PlayStation Productions and sister company Sony Studios will help with distribution. Crystal Bass, Layden, and the team have been working on this new venture behind the scenes for the past couple of years. They have been talking to many in the film industry, including Transformers series producer Lorenzo Di Bonaventura and Marvel Studios head Kevin Feige. And this next part comes from Tom Marks from IGN. Sony confirms during an investors relations presentation that is developing a TV show based on the Twisted Metal game series. It is also stated that the Uncharted movie is in advanced development.
Yeah, so this is one of those things that I refuse to get excited about. Because the likelihood of it being bad is very high. But I'm not saying this, but I do think it could be something.
Could be something.
Yeah. Like, I do think they do have properties that, if handled correctly, could work. Weirdly enough, I feel like Twisted Metal and Uncharted are... Neither of those two would be ones that I would, like, go to first to say, like, yeah, I want to see a movie or whatever of the second Twisted Metal TV show. We talked about it before. My mind immediately goes to, like, the Sly Cooper animated show that was, like, talked about for a while and stuff like that. Like, if they did, like, they could do awesome animated shows. Like, you could make animated, like, kids show with Sly Cooper. There would maybe some adult jokes in there or whatever here and there. But, like, that could work really well. And just like you've seen TMNT come back. You've seen Thundercats come back. I mean, like, you can bring old things back to a new, like, younger, like, kid audience and start building it up again. And that's, like, kind of an area of Sony that has fallen out of popularity. Is there more, like, kid-friendly games like that? And, like, this could be a way to build that back. I'm sure that's not what they're thinking about the studio as. They're probably thinking about having gritty live-action things.
Yeah, I'm curious. Let's see, they said develop a TV show, but they didn't say live action necessarily. It's going to be live action, probably. And it's probably going to look out.
Yeah.
Live action Sweet Tooth, Darby.
We'll see. It needs to be aware of what it is.
Yeah.
It needs to be very aware. I think people brought up, like, just make it a reality show instead. Like, make it like people have to, like, compete in some weird... I do kind of hope that, like, yeah, they really lean into that part of it. They're like, I don't know a whole lot about Twisted Metal, but I know that it's like, yeah, people are competing in this weird, like,
getting a wish from Calypso,
yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, by that I mean every time, it turns out bad for them.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. Be careful what you wish for. Be very specific. All that kind of crap.
This could be cool with the right budget and the right tone. Like, if they know that it's like wacky, honestly, and I hope that it's kind of like concise, like we know, like boom, boom, boom. You know.
Honestly, I would be a lot more interested / excited. More interested. It's probably the better word. If they announced this was like let's say a pretty short animated series, I'd be like, okay, that works for Twisted Metal.
Anything out of the studio, if they say it's animated, I'm like, okay, I'm interested. Like, that's probably more doable for a lot of these properties.
I mean, well, just going back to what you said for Sly Cooper, and, you know, admittedly, we're very biased towards Sly Cooper.
Yeah, that's
good.
But
as far as their properties go, Sly Cooper, just as a premise, and just the way the games are made, just fits so much better for a TV show than about any of their properties.
I'm glad to hear you say that, because like, it doesn't mean much. But
just the idea of them just doing heists, and especially if they do a kids show, they could do the kind of thing of Carmeline's about to get him, but he just gets away, that kind of thing, and they can go through that. And as we saw, and in 3, and even in Sly Cooper 3, they showed all the new members of your team. They don't have to be in the team in the episodes, but they can do team-up stuff. Yeah. And even some of them be villains, because some of them were villains.
You have a very big cast, and you can bring back, like, every game has...
You can do the time travel stuff, or you can have select episodes where it's just an episode about some of the ancestors, and that's just the episode of one of their heists.
Yeah. Especially if you keep that canon, and, like, you have so many you can pull for there. And just every game had, like, at least 5 villains and more.
Oh, yeah.
Usually they had a lot of them. And then you could, like, make new ones too. But there's, like, so much you can pull for. And like you said, it like seems like it's already like a kid's show where, like, every episode could have its own plot. And there could be overarching things, but it's like, this is this heist that we're going on.
I mean,
this is this.
Every, like, it's more, especially in 2 and 3, I would say, like, every world / boss or whatever thing is... That's pretty much like an episode / a little small run of episodes of a TV show in ways.
Man, they even frame them like their TV episode.
Yeah.
Like, they have a title card where they're like, Sly Cooper in.
Yeah.
It says Sly Cooper and the gang in, and then it has this title card. Sly Cooper, like, I think part of why I loved it so much as a kid is it's basically like reading a comic / watching a cartoon / playing a game. Like, it's framed like that already. It's almost like they were planning on having a Sly Cooper animated series. It would just work really well. And we saw someone basically made, or the Sanzaru people basically, I think it was them because it was the same art style, right before Thieves in Time came out, they released like a little 10-minute, there was no dialogue in it, but it was like a 10-minute basically animated, like an episode of what would be an animated show where they were pulling this heist on a train. That was a thing. It seems very clear to me they wanted to do this even back then.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm a Sly Cooper super fan, so of course that's where I go first. But honestly, I do think that it's the best one. Even you think about Jack and Daxter, it would be cool, but I think Sly Cooper, the format of it fits better for episode.
100%. Again,
Ratchet and Clank would be great. Ratchet and Clank would also be great. I think that would also
look
be
past that movie.
Yes, because Ratchet and Clank has awesome humor, like in the games, like it could work. Really
it is unfortunate to see that most of the series that I feel were better are the cartoony ones. Mm-hmm. But I mean, that's just the way it is.
I mean, it's a lot easier to get those shows right.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to when you go outside of that, so many so many Sony properties, they're already so narrative heavy anyway. You're already like partially watching a movie anyway, and I'm not trying to criticize them, it's just they're very cinematic. Like Uncharted, I already feel like I watched the Uncharted movie, you know? Like, because the games look so good and they're already so movie like already.
And like God of War, that budget would need to be insane.
And it's never going to be as good as the game. Like, it's just the narrative is just never going to be told as well as that game does.
I'm trying to think of other Sony games that might work other than the couple cartoony ones.
Horizon would need a whole hell of a lot of a budget.
Give me a Gravity Rush anime.
Man, yes. Absolutely, yes. Did they completely own Gravity Rush?
Yeah, it's theirs.
Sony Japan.
Yeah. It is their IP.
Yeah, no, that would be sweet. It's not popular enough at all.
Yeah, but it's how you get things popular.
Yeah, I agree.
You can.
I agree. No, that would be... I mean, that's another one that's already almost set up like a comic book or like a show. Like, yeah, that would be great. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Maybe we should do a topic about this one time. Okay. Just like go through the franchise and what would be the best. Like you said, it's going to be all animated. This is what we're going to be suggesting pretty much.
And then... at the very least, we can at least go through the big ones. We'll talk like Uncharted, Last of Us, and we can be like, how do we think that? How would this best work? Yeah, that type of thing. Okay, moving on. We got a couple more Sony-related stories. None of them should be as big, though, as far as talking. Let's go find a big hearse from IGN. God of War has reached a huge milestone. It has now sold over 10 million units since its launch on PlayStation 4 in April of last year. The news was revealed by Sony Interactive Entertainment President and CEO Jim Ryan during his presentation at Sony's IR Day 2019. While we don't have an exact number, we do know it has joined other PS4 exclusives like Uncharted 4 Thieves End, Last of Us Remastered, and Horizon Zero Dawn in the 10 million unit sold club.
Not surprising, but still awesome.
Good company.
Yeah. No, very good.
I'm trying to remember. I'm sure we talked about it. I kind of forgot Horizon got over 10 mil.
I think that was not too long ago that happened, but I'm happy because it kind of seemed like Horizon was getting stagnant with sales. But
honestly, it's not surprising, but part of me finds it crazy that The Last of Us is a PS3 game originally, and the remaster is still over 10 million alone.
Just the remaster.
Yeah. It probably helped that it came out the year the PlayStation 4 came out.
Yeah, that was like,
and then the remaster came out a year later.
But that is still super impressive. No, it's especially for all these to be just exclusive to one platform. You know, like that's that's a lot.
I don't know why surprised they didn't kind of put on here. Spider-Man surely sold over 10 million.
Oh yeah, it had to have.
Yeah.
Because we already saw it. But it's like, that's just assumed at this point. But that's super awesome. Like you said, I'm almost more like I expected God of War to do it. I'm just really happy Horizon's in there because I was worried about that. Have you watched any of the Raising Creators or Making Creators? I definitely want to watch that. Yeah. Maybe we should both watch that. Maybe talk about it.
Okay,
that would be.
Apparently, Easy Allies are kind of featured a good bit in it.
Really?
As far as like the reactions and stuff.
Okay. They have very good reactions, but everyone says it's super good. So maybe we can make that would be an easy main topic.
Mm-hmm. That's why I thought you eat that.
Yes, it's too busy right now.
Speaking of Italy, this will not be there, Darby. But you want to talk about the PS5?
Yeah, boy.
This also comes from Adam Banghurst from IGN. A new video posted by Wall Street Journal's Takashi Mochizuki may have given us our first look at the potential power of the PlayStation 5. Mochizuki tweeted out the video saying this was Sony's official video comparing performance of PS4 Pro versus next-gen PlayStation. The video compares the loading times and performance of Marvel's Spider-Man between the PS4 Pro, potentially named PS5. It is nearly identical to the description given in Wired's interview with PlayStation 5 lead architect Mark Cerny that revealed the first details of the next-generation PlayStation. You watched this, right?
I actually have not. I've just heard people talk about it, but
it's pretty crazy the difference.
I remember reading
assuming it works that way. I guess it's like the PS4 Pro takes close to 10 seconds or something like that, I think, to do, like maybe 8 point something seconds, and the PS5 takes less than a second. And
it's crazy.
It's one of the, like, obviously it's crazy when you just hear about it, but then you see it, like you see the PS5 load, and then you're just waiting for the Pro. And then at one point, I think they just while you wait for the PS4 Pro to load, the PS5 is just loading scenes over and over again. So you get like 8 scenes loaded before the PS4 goes into loads the first one.
It's probably gonna be one of those things that makes it really hard to go back to the PlayStation 4 if you put in your old copy of something.
I mean, it's one of those things dependent on what the game is as far as your fast traveling stuff. Just think of all the time you save just from
dude,
the load times.
It's kind of miraculous that I finished The Witcher 3 because of how horrible. Anytime, I would just run away from people so I wouldn't die because I did not want to sit there for a 2-minute loading screen. No, it seems small, but that's one of the biggest things I want from the new consoles. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's probably gonna be the way. I think this is always gonna happen with consoles. That's going to be the case at the beginning, and then a few years into it, we're pushing the limits of it so much that it starts to not happen. I mean, because right now we're basically running all our games on hardware that released in 2013, aside from the Pro, obviously. But me and you are running our stuff on hardware from 2013, which you would never really do with a computer. You would never be So, we're going to push past this eventually, and it's not going to always be that good. But at least that's a good way of showing the upgrade right now.
Yeah. And backwards compatibility, baby.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, it was exciting, especially since it's looking like Microsoft's thing's going to E3 press conference is going to be 2 hours. Might be seeing that sweet Xbox Scarlet.
Yeah.
I feel some basic information.
I do feel like they have to do whatever, if they do their own event or whatever they do, I do feel like they have to show PS5 somewhat soon because you don't want Xbox to show their console and then just have months and months and months and months before you show yours. At least I wouldn't think so as a businessman. Yeah.
The Xbox conference would be so good, Darby. It'd be so sweet.
Man, E3. It already feels like E3 is started, man. Final Fantasy VII, we might be getting Last of Us and Death Stranding. It's already begun, Jeff.
It's already begun.
But is a big boy going to slip?
Yes.
You heard it here.
In the Psychonauts 2 trailer.
Why specific?
This comes from Colin Stevens from IGN. Speaking of that, I guess Psychonauts 2 that's confirmed to be at E3 and I am hyped. Okay, moving on. This is something I'm not hyped about, just because I don't particularly care for Star Wars. A Star Wars film based on BioWare's Knights of the Old Republic is reportedly in the works at Disney, and it could be the first of a potential trilogy. This report comes from BuzzFeed News, and while it should be taken with a grain of salt, the outlet says that the information comes from 3 sources close to the project. These sources claim it's currently being written by Leta Cologridis, known for writing Shutter Island and acting as executive producer on Avatar. Her most recent credit is as a co-screenwriter on Alita Battle Angel. Calogridis, was reportedly hired to develop the script in spring 2018 and is allegedly close to finishing the first script of potential KOTOR trilogy. BuzzFeed's report name drops Bastila Shan, Darth Malak, and Darth Revan as potential characters. Do you know those names?
I never played Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh, yeah. Back in April during Star Wars Celebration, Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy confirmed the studio is developing something related to Knights of the Old Republic, saying, "Yes, we are developing something to look at. Right now, I have no idea where things might fall, but we have to be careful that there is a cadence of Star Wars that doesn't start to feel like too much."
Yeah, that's what I immediately think. It's like another trilogy.
I mean, actually, not. Oh wait, they name drop names. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Unfortunately, everyone says Knights of the Old Republic is really good. I
got on Game Pass, baby.
I never played it, so I don't know. Everyone says the story is super good though, so I guess cool. But again, it's just how many Star Wars movies do we need? And is this one gonna have the budget that the other ones have when it's based off of
Star Wars? So I feel like it's gonna have a significant budget. I feel like this is gonna have to be a movie that does, appeals to more to just the Knights of the Old Republic fans. It's gotta appeal to just Star Wars fans. Yeah, that's all you need to do.
Yeah. Right. The fact is, it's gotten to the point of being made. I mean, could be cool.
Yep.
I mean, to broaden the universe and get that. I wonder how they'll, when all this will take place and how it'll all work. Again, I just don't even know a whole lot about Knights of the Old Republic, so I can't really comment on too much.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm interested.
Do you want to talk about a movie we're not really interested in other than memes?
I mean, the memes are going to be pretty good.
This comes from Dave McNary from Variety. Paramount Pictures is pushing its Sonic the Hedgehog movie back 3 months, Darby, from November 8th to Valentine's Day. The perfect Valentine's Day movie. The best one is Deadpool. The delay follows fan criticism over the appearance and design of the titular blue hedgehog, particularly his teeth and lean legs. Director Jeff Fowler tweeted that it was taking a little more time to make Sonic just right. So, yeah, in the picture they had, the way they show the delay is a picture of Sonic holding a sign with the new date, and something that stood out was he had gloves on.
I didn't even think about that.
It's one of the first things I noticed after the date.
So, I think this is good, if any other reason, just so that VFX artists aren't just killing themselves to get this out in the right time.
But the problem is, as we discussed before, this won't make the movie good.
No. I still think the movie is going to be bad. Like, I don't think this changes anything.
Yeah.
It's probably just going to make it even a little more awkward because the movie's done and then you're going in and changing everything after the fact. But my biggest concern was, again, just I saw people who like work on movies and they're like, yeah, this is bad. Like, those people are going to be worked to death to make this happen. So
I'm just happy, if anything, for the VFX guys.
Yeah, I bet he'll look better, but I still don't think they have a good movie underneath. So,
yeah, I just kind of hate it because there are probably some people on the team that actually love Sonic, but because Sega's not really involved in this, the corporate overlords know nothing and just kind of like, you guys gotta try to make Sonic cool, so make him buddies with a sheriff.
And it would suck because, if you're working on that movie and you actually really like Sonic, it's like we had the budget and we had like the name and everything. Like, this could have been good. We could have made this good,
or even not good. At least like it's Sonic.
Like
at least it
recognizable.
Feels like it'd be feel like it's a Sonic movie and it's Sonic's world instead of the whole Sonic but in our world. But you make him an alien. That's the dumbest thing of this whole thing. He's an alien.
Bums me out, man. It's just so bad.
It is very bad. Okay. Let's talk about something that I'm hoping is really good, Darby. The Dark Pictures of Man and Medan were released on August 30th. Let's go.
Let's do it. Yep,
it definitely seemed like they were...
Oh, what is this if people have forgotten?
For people who don't know, this is from Supermassive Games, which... are the developers behind Until Dawn, and this is, I believe, being published by Bandai Namco. Yes, I'm positive of that. Okay, and this is supposed to be the first of their kind of anthology of horror story choice-based games like Until Dawn. This is kind of their first one in the same vein. There was Hidden Agenda, which was kind of more of a crime thriller and had the whole gimmick of the home phone thing, which wasn't as good as you would hope, unfortunately.
It didn't work as well,
Yeah. So I'm excited for this. It's it's interesting, Darby. I don't know if you knew this. It's $30.
I think I actually did. Yeah. I'm wondering how. Yeah, I wonder how long this is going to be.
I think I don't necessarily think this is a bad thing. I would say I think this will be shorter than Until Dawn, which isn't the longest game, but. This is a game that wanting you to replay things depending on choices and stuff. I think if it's shorter than Until Dawn, that's not a bad thing.
And I also expect this anthology thing to like come out a lot sooner than a normal games will be coming out. They're probably all going to be about $30-ish and come out decently often. Or at least once a year or twice a year or something. At some point.
Yep.
Yeah. So. I'm definitely super interested in it. I want it's something I will wait for reviews because they obviously have had some misses with Impatient and kind of a Hidden Agenda. So it's somewhat of a wait and see. But Until Dawn was so much fun to play with a group of people, and I hope they can nail that again. Also, the faces were a little bit weird when they first showed it. So but we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see, but a game that I have very few concerns about is Cyberpunk 2077, Jeff.
I don't believe you. This comes from Daniel Roberts from PC Gamer. As expected, Cyberpunk 2077 won't be hands-on at E3 2019, but the good news is that anyone on the show floor can go along to the booth and see a demo presentation. CD Projekt Red's global community lead Marcin Momot clarified this on Twitter after being asked about it a whole bunch. A whole bunch, Darby.
Exactly a whole bunch.
Momot also clarified that there will be different showings for the game on the show floor and behind closed doors. So we will be seeing gameplay. I mean, we wouldn't play it either way, but we won't get like hands-on impressions from like easy alleys and stuff.
Right. So. Yeah, which means I guess means maybe it's slightly not as far along, but I'm still expecting a lot. I'm expecting there to be a lot. I mean, they already had that hour-long thing before, so I
mean, honestly, as long let's say they do the trailer thing at whatever they're going to show at Microsoft, and they end with 2020. I'm pleased.
I'm satisfied. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And then people play, like, it comes out late next year, and people play it at E3 next year, and that kind of stuff.
Just something to, like, stop the jokes of, like, no, it's going to come out 10 years from, like, oh, that game's never going to come out, just stop that.
I find it kind of weird. It's one of the games where that kind of attached to somewhere.
Yeah, I am too.
It's not as much as some other games, but it's still there, and I'm like, I mean, I feel like there was that's taking an appropriate amount of time. I mean, based on what we know. I mean, it still could tell like a long time.
I think it's because we knew about this game years before it was ever shown and stuff. But that's just because I think CD Projekt Red are a lot more open about these things. They were like, yeah, we're still working on The Witcher, but this is going to be our next project. And they knew it was going to be, so they just told everyone. And it's like, most studios don't just tell you. Mm-hmm. But CD Projekt Red was kind of like, yeah, this is what we're doing. Mm-hmm. So we knew about, Cyberpunk
for a long time.
Like a little bit.
2014?
Yeah, it's been a long time. It was like several years before Witcher came out.
Maybe it was 2012.
So that's probably why. But actually, when we started seeing the game, it actually has not been that long.
I mean, it was really last year.
Yeah. I think they showed like a little tiny bit of something else before, but that was the first like actual trailer. Like,
I mean, last year was the first time we saw gameplay or in-game stuff. Yeah.
So if it comes out 2 years after that, then
that's fine.
We're doing good.
We're fine.
Everything is fine.
It's fine. You know what else is fine?
What's fine?
Suda51. Suda51 announced at MomoCon that Travis Strikes Again No More Heroes will be coming to both PS4 and Steam. Suda also said he will be at E3 to announce something. And fun fact, this is the first time he's been at E3 in a long time. So Travis and Smash.
It's Travis and Smash, obviously.
No
More Heroes, just anything to maybe get a few more people to buy that game.
Yeah, it's kind of,
Even though I still don't think it's going to help it all that much. So that's that, but do you think he actually does have a new No More Heroes project that he's going to, like an actual, like the next like numbered thing or something? Because it does not seem like Travis Strikes Again did very well.
Well, here's the thing. There may or may not have been a teaser for No More Heroes till at the end of the game.
Yeah, but he was also probably hoping that this game actually sold some. But I mean, what would be your call? Do you think that's what he's teasing?
I feel like that'd be something substantial if he's actually going. If he's going. I feel like it's either No More Heroes 3, even if it's like early or not really much of anything, or Travis and Smash. His dream come true.
It's not happening, Jeff. It's not happening.
I can believe.
I would be a little upset if he got in there and Shovel Knight was a weird assist trophy. I would be a little bummed about that.
And then I would just cut you my lifesaver and then use my wrestling moves on you. So yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, moving on to sales time, Darby.
I'm so tired of being sick, Jeff.
Why else say you're so tired of sales? Like, what's wrong with you?
I'm so tired of sales, Jeff.
Yep.
Every week with
Want to talk about some updated Capcom numbers?
Boy, would I, Jeff.
Yeah. They updated their, I guess, Million Club page, or whatever the hell they're calling it.
The ones that matter.
Yeah. So the list is actually pretty long, so I just took some ones that look interesting. Monster Hunter World, 12.4 million, still the top-selling Capcom game.
We got Iceborne coming out.
Yep, Resident Evil 5's at 11.2 million. So it's kind of weird that that's that, but they called Monster Hunter World like a top-selling game when it was like 8 million or whatever the hell. So I have no idea what the hell that's about. Resident Evil 6, 9 million. Resident Evil 7, 6.4 million. Resident Evil Remake, 4.2 million. I think that's just like the updated version or whatever the hell.
Yeah, for the original,
Yeah. Street Fighter 5, 3.1 million. And Devil May Cry 5, 2.1 million. Oh, wait, the Resident Evil Remake is for 2. Never mind.
Okay, I was about to ask, I was like, where's RE2 Remake?
Damn you, copy and paste. The Resident Evil franchise as a whole has sold 91 million copies. Darby, they just need to go ahead and put some Resident Evil thing in Smash.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the first Japanese thing, the biggest one that's not in.
Yeah, I agree.
Or one of them.
I agree.
So, yeah.
And that would be like, we just talked so much about Smash, is like, this, like, how many different amazing franchises are represented if you also had a Resident Evil stage and Leon and stuff like that would, or someone like that would be awesome. And
I think with Resident Evil, and I say this as someone who has very little experience with Resident Evil, it could be one of those things where you could have, if they really want to put in the effort, a Resident Evil character, but then skins are different characters.
Yeah,
you could have Leon, Jill, and stuff, maybe.
That would
at the very
cool.
least, that's one character.
Yeah.
Or Leon and Claire.
I mean, with how much effort they put into Joker, I mean, who knows?
Yeah, who knows? So, it's still crazy for me to think they called Resident Evil 7 a failure at some point.
Yeah, 6.5 million, almost 6.5 million.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, it's nice to see that it's up there, and it's nice to see RE2 remake 4.2 million that fast. I mean, that's pretty fast to get there. I mean, RE7's been out a good bit longer, and that is pretty darn good. And just Monster Hunter is insane.
Yeah, Devil May Cry 5 doing good too.
Yep.
For how little it's been out. Okay, Darby, final thing. Or at least as far as news goes. NPD.
How many people don't know what we're saying? They'll figure it out.
They'll figure it. Okay, yeah, so let's get to the top, I guess, 11-ish, then a couple other people. Okay. Number 1, Mortal Kombat 11.
And
no surprise there.
Do we have the thing here that I think this is the first time?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Mortal Kombat 11 was the best-selling game of the month on all platforms on which it released. PC, PlayStation 4, Switch, and Xbox One. This is the first time a game has been number 1 on each home console platform in the same month since Guitar Hero 3 Legends of Rock accomplished the feat in October 2007.
That's pretty awesome.
That's pretty crazy.
That's pretty awesome. I mean, I think a big reason is there's not many games that are that big that release on every platform. Usually there's some platforms.
No, I've heard, we don't have exact numbers, but I've heard the Switch sales are insane.
Really?
Yeah. Really good for them. Bigger than you would think, at least.
That's good, because that's more incentive to, hey, the Switch matters. Sell on Switch. I would never buy it there, but, I understand. Or at least not as
I'm sure there's some
there
are crazy people who are really interested in the double dipped.
Probably.
For the portability.
Probably. I mean, the portability would be nice.
I mean, especially if you're, really into the fighting games and, fighting games with all the little stuff, because I heard it actually runs well, even if it doesn't look as good. They emphasized on the Switch version the 60 frames and all that stuff.
Yeah, which is good. I mean, sacrifice.
Which would be the important thing if you wanted to take it on the go.
If you're going to sacrifice something, sacrifice the visuals.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks, but.
So, crazy numbers for Mortal Kombat. Number 2, Days Gone.
Days Gone.
Green tea. Debut month sales that rank as the 7th highest in history for a Sony published title. After just 1 month in market, Days Gone is the best-selling game produced by Sony Ben Studios in lifetime revenues. That's not surprising.
No, not for Sony Ben at all. No. But it seems to be doing pretty well, despite its critical mehness.
Yeah. Not much more to say. I just wanted to release a number.
They'll play the game. Maybe we should get Chad and Holden back on because they actually played the game. But.
Yeah. Number 3, MLB 19, The Show. MLB The Show 19 remains the best-selling game in franchise history on a time-aligned basis.
People really like that game.
Yeah.
Those games.
Mm-hmm. Good for them.
Yeah, but, I mean, apparently they're really good.
Yeah.
I haven't played a baseball game in years. Years and years and years. Play Madden every now and then, but I actually watch football nowadays. I don't even watch baseball. So.
Okay, number 4. Tom Clancy's The Division 2. No PC digital. Yeah.
Yeah, still very high, but yeah. I was about to say something. Yeah, it's about what I would expect.
I guess you could potentially say it's kind of maybe surprising that it's below MLB 19.
I mean, but again, people really like it. But when did that come out?
But it's exclusive. They came out the same month, I think.
It did come out this month. I didn't know if it came out.
Or, I mean, it's either that it came out the same month or MLB the month before. But I think it's the same month.
Okay.
So, crazy. Number 5, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate No Digital.
Hanging up there.
Yeah.
Top
Number
5
6,
still.
Grand Theft Auto 5. It's back in the 6th spot.
Yep. The word the universe is weird.
Number 7, Sekiro. Shadows Die Twice. No PC digital. Which I think a lot of people like playing on PC, so that's good for that game.
Nice.
Yeah. Because people like those mods where you can turn that giant snake into Thomas the Tank Engine.
I mean, is that not the superior way to play, Jeff?
It is.
Excuse me?
It makes it scarier. You just see that smiling face come towards you. Number 8, Call of Duty Black Ops 4. No PC digital. Number 9, NBA 2K19. Number 10, kind of surprised about this actually, that it's kind of stayed up here. Yoshi's Crafted World.
Yeah.
No digital sales. Kind of surprising that it's over number 11, Red Dead Redemption 2.
Makes me a little sad, but
yeah.
But
so
man, people have kids. There's a lot of kids out there.
Yeah.
And again, like we said, if I had a kid, that would be what I would be buying.
And people seem to be like Yoshi.
Yeah, there's enough other people.
Yeah,
that
this is
just
a
like
good game. Heard it can actually get difficult in some of the later levels. Oh wait, did you see? Did you see Easy Ally's achievement video? We're watching that after this.
Okay.
And then I got a couple other ones for the rest of the top 20. Number 16, Final Fantasy 10/10-2 HD remaster. Let's go, baby.
Is 16 good? Do you think that's a good amount of sales? Like, I mean, like I would. This is just the Switch version, right?
And
like,
Xbox. I think that's pretty good.
Switch and Xbox.
I think that's good for a remaster of that game.
yeah, I would say so too. Yeah.
I kind of hate 12's done on this, but I think it came out later in the month.
I mean, 10's gonna probably sell more, but I do hope. Like,
don't worry, I don't know where I'm getting to it, but I'm going to at some point get 12 on the Switch and play it.
I did play some of that. I did play a good bit of 12 in the last few weeks, but then I switched over to 7 after the Final Fantasy 7 trailer.
Yeah.
But man, that game's so good, and I wish I had it on the Switch instead of PS4.
Number 20. Coming back from the dead, Borderlands. Apparently the original Borderlands.
Yeah, the power of a new trailer.
Yeah, I think they had some kind of crazy sale or something too. Or they just announced like was it like a remaster or something coming into the current gen consoles?
Yeah, I think there was like a sale.
Good for the. I mean, the sales number for that franchise that we discussed last week is insane.
It's just way more than you ever would think it would be.
Yep. So Dara, let's get to that top 10 for the year so far. Number 1, still number 1, baby. Kingdom Hearts 3. Bow down to the mouse. Bow down the Goofy.
King Mickey in his hand, Goofy.
Yep. I'm still surprised it's number 1. We said this the last couple months. We'll say it again. Probably not next month.
Probably not, but who knows, Jeff?
Who knows? It lasted this long. Number 2, Mortal Kombat 11 just jumped up there. That's probably what's going to take over Kingdom Hearts next month.
Probably.
Yeah. Number 3, Tom Clancy's The Division 2. I'm honestly surprised that didn't overtake Kingdom Hearts 3.
I was say, this might be the first year in a while where Ubisoft does not have the number 1 game of the year for most of the year. I thought Division 2 would be that, but
it'll be Kingdom Hearts 3, baby. 4 months in a row.
I have a feeling Mortal Kombat's going to go on a run of being number 1, but I'm not it's really impressive.
Yeah.
I really thought Division 2, I thought Kingdom Hearts would sell decently, pretty well, but I would not have guessed that it would still be out there.
Nah, I'm happy it's doing well. And I'm excited for probable DLC announcements in 2 weeks.
Because again, despite Disney, which is obviously going to have a mass appeal just by having Disney, the actual game was not made for mass appeal. Very much not made for mass appeal, but it somehow got it.
Once the DLC comes out, I might replay it with the new I'm blanking on the name, like Proud Mode or whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah,
The hard mode.
Proud Mode is the
Yeah,
hard
yeah.
mode, for sure.
Yeah. Might replay it on that. Before the end of the year, when the DLC comes out. Number 4, Anthem, with no PC digital sales. Division 2 is also that way if I didn't say it.
Anthem's probably going to keep getting pushed further down the list, probably.
Anthem was, I think, in the top 20, but it was just kind of low, maybe. Or was it on there at all? I kind of want to check. I'm going to check that because that's a very interesting.
Yeah. If it's not in the top 20, that's the yikes.
Yeah, so I'm going to pull that real quick. I'll keep on reading, though. Number 5, Resident Evil 2 Remake. Yeah, I'm good for that game. Good for that game.
Yeah, and I'm really glad to see it still there. Like, again, I don't think that game's going to climb anymore either, but, like, yeah, it's still...
No. Okay, let's see here.
I thought about I want to, like, maybe borrow Jacob's copy and play RE2. It's okay. I probably should play.
Okay.
But I don't know, Jacob. What do you think about that being my first Resident Evil, or should I I think I have RE4 like from PlayStation Plus or something, or PlayStation Now. Like, should I play that first? Should I play the original RE2 first, or should I just maybe play RE2 Remake? Let me know, Jacob. Let me know.
I'm gonna play one remake first. I have it. Number 6, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. That's probably gonna stay on there, but still be on there by the end of the year, maybe. Because if it continues doing so well, it'll like climb or at least over like Resident Evil 2.
It was the top 5 this month.
Yeah.
I can keep going in this if you want to look that up.
Yeah. Okay.
Number 7, Red Dead Redemption 2. Yeah. Again, just not. I feel like it could be higher. It was like Red Dead definitely sold well, but like probably didn't have the tail that it deserves and that people thought it would. Sadly.
It's better than Grand Theft Auto 5.
Number 8, Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. And I'm just gonna finish this out. Number 9, Jump Force.
Let's go, baby! Still going strong.
And number 10, already MLB 19 this year. Like, not even being out that long.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sekiro, like Red Dead, Sekiro, Jump Force, all feels good. But yeah, Sekiro and Jump Force especially.
Does Jump Force feel good?
Oh yeah, I guess that Jump Force doesn't feel good. But, hey, anime sells, my dude.
Anime sells. And guess who's out right now, Darby?
Oh,
Seto motherfucking Kaiba on Jump Force.
Yeah.
And All Might.
Screw the rules. Green hair.
Yep. So I need to play that.
Was it in the top 20 or did you?
I had a link to last month's. Well, Anthem was not in the top 20.
Wow.
Jump Force was.
Wow.
Was there any other one that would be interesting to know if it's in the top 20?
Man, how far off was that probably from their expectations for Anthem?
Probably a lot.
Ooh, boy. Yikes.
Wait. That came out in March, right? February. Okay, I was say. Okay. I was say that'd be really bad if months aligned. Yoshi was in the top 10 and Anthem wasn't. I mean, it's still crazy that's the case.
It still is kind of
especially
funny.
since Yoshi doesn't have any digital sales.
Or the fact that, like, yeah, Final Fantasy 10 and Borderlands
Jump Force sold more than Anthem this month. Jump Force.
And Jump Force is older, isn't it?
No, same month.
But I mean,
it's like 2 weeks older or something.
Yeah.
But that's crazy.
Also, Nintendo Switch was the best-selling hardware platform of both April as well as year-to-date across both unit and dollar sales. Hardware spending in April 2019 fell 29% when compared to a year ago. Nintendo Switch sales growth was offset by declines across all other hardware platforms.
Yeah. So
I mean, a big part of that is
we're winding down the generation as far as... So pretty much what that's saying is Switch has sold more, maybe by a significant amount, but console hardware spending as a whole is down 29% from a year ago because Xbox and PlayStation 4 aren't selling as well. That's because generation winding down and all that, all the stuff about next-gen consoles. That's not crazy.
It's been climbing for so long, despite us winding down. So, like, yeah, it's more just like it's cool that it took this long to get here.
Yeah. And Switch is still selling well, even that stuff. I mean, it's still apparently outpacing PS4 as far as sales go. Which is crazy.
So as long as Nintendo can keep up the games.
Yep.
I think the Switch will be okay. Well, Jeff, are you ready for some more E3 hype?
I do like E3 hype.
All right, Jeff. Well, we're gonna play maybe a quick little game. I hope this goes all right. I thought it seemed like a cool idea. Might be too easy. It might be too hard in times. I don't know. But Jeff, we're gonna test your E3 memory.
Okay.
As well as maybe just a little bit of your business mind. I'm going to, as we know, with conferences,
Yep.
the way that you open and the way you close conferences is important. Your one more thing and your first impression.
Okay.
So, I'm going to go through some of the last few years' E3 press conferences, and I want you to tell me if you can remember what they opened and closed with.
Okay.
Now, I have... For each one of these press conferences, I have a list of games here. But I'm going to give you the chance, if you want to, like at the beginning of everything, if you can name what the opening and closing were without looking at the list, great. But if you can't, I'll give you the list. Or if you just like, nope, I don't know and I need to see the list for you to choose from, go for it.
Answers are on that list. You just remember them, right?
The answers are on my phone.
Oh, okay.
But I just want to see if you can nail some of these.
Okay.
Yeah. But we're starting with, it's going to get easier as we get closer to the present day. Unless you want me to go backwards. I can start the...
Do it the way you plan, Darby. Just go for it.
All right. We're going to start Sony's press conference 2014. Like I said, I have a feeling with these older ones, you're going to have to take a look. But if you wanted to do a shot in the dark, go for it. And I need to find my thing.
2014. Dang.
And feel free to just take the list, and I'll read off things and let you see it.
Yeah, I might need a list for this one.
I didn't think about I'm just gonna use this to kind of cover up the other ones. All right, so our lists are these are not all the games that are necessarily were in these press conferences, but I put most of them in most of the big ones. So in Sony's 2014 press conference, we had Far Cry 4, Little Big Planet 3, Uncharted 4: A Thief's End, Assassin's Creed Unity, No Man's Sky, Destiny, The Order 1886, Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain, and Batman: Arkham Knight. So there's one that opened and one that closed in this list.
Okay. Dang. Okay. I feel pretty confident at what one of the games are as far as what open or closed, but can't remember which one. Uncharted 4. I'm gonna go with closed.
Okay.
Are you just gonna tell me if right? Or am I gonna say?
Okay. Yeah. I guess I'll just tell you. Yes.
Okay. That just makes too much sense. It came out in 2016, so that's a good time to announce it. And
yeah, you did say close, right?
Yeah, close.
Yeah, close, right?
Yeah.
What opened it, Jeff?
Trying to think if Sony has a history of.
Yeah, just try to think. of that time period.
Because only two of these are first parties, but there's no way in the world they open with Little Big or maybe they could have, because they need you a cute little skit. I had trouble remembering what happened in this press conference. That was so long ago. I'll go with No Man's Sky.
Good guess, but no, it was Destiny.
Yeah.
Destiny. I know it's a little boring, but that was.
I was thinking between those two.
Remember, they had that marketing.
They had the marketing rights, but they were pushing No Man's Sky hard.
They were. Oh, they were. Yeah. Okay. It was on multiple of them.
I got one right.
Yep. You got one right there. Nintendo 2014.
Okay. They closed with Palutena's announcement.
Yes.
What in the world they open with? Wasn't also Smash, because they did that in the middle with the Mii Fighters. Wait, 2014. Was it Splatoon?
No, you had it right. It was Smash. It was Smash opening and close. The Mii Fighters was
I don't know why I thought that was in the middle of the conference.
No, it was weird because it opens with the robot chicken type thing with Reggie, and it goes into him fighting.
Okay, I mean,
and then it's Mii, and that leads.
Yeah, because I remember a lot of those match transitions. I'm like, that'd be a weird way to start it. But yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yep. So you got one. You got the opening. Yeah, that was a little bit of a tricky one because Smash was both.
Yeah.
All right. Sony 2015. By the way, I did leave Microsoft out of a lot of these because their conferences just weren't as memorable until the later ones.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. At least for us, we are definitely have more of a history.
Man, that could have been like Microsoft's could be anything.
Exactly. Like it would be too hard to guess a lot of them. And there's too many third parties, and there's just too much.
They close with Last Guardian.
Incorrect.
Ooh. Wait, was it Horizon?
Incorrect.
Dang.
Would you like to see the list?
Sure, why not?
All right.
It's the Year of Dreams, so I was thinking.
All right, Sony 2015. We have The Last Guardian, Horizon Zero Dawn, Days Gone, Detroit Become Human, God of War, Resident Evil 7, Spider-Man, Batman VR, Crash Insane Trilogy, and Death Stranding.
Wait, that's 2016's.
Is it really?
The ones you just read.
Oh, yeah, whoops. Oh, yeah, it absolutely is, isn't it? Okay, sorry. We have Horizon Zero Dawn, Hitman, Street Fighter V, The Last Guardian, No Man's Sky, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Dreams, Firewatch, Star Wars Battlefront, Shenmue 3, and Uncharted 4.
Okay, was I getting it backwards and Last Guardian opened?
Yes.
Okay.
Last Guardian opened.
And they... I'm trying to remember. For some reason I was thinking that they had to close with one of the Year of Dreams stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm going with they closed with Horizon. Oh, wait, I said that. I'm dumb. I'm trying to remember the order. They didn't close with Final Fantasy 7, did they?
No.
Was it Battlefront?
I think you gotta just say it at this point. It was Uncharted 4.
Oh. See, I didn't expect that to be 2 years in a row.
Yep, 2 years in a row. This was the one. I think this is the one where the demo messed up. Like it was gonna be live action. Or it was gonna be like someone play. They did show it 2 years in a row, but they had to restart the demo and stuff.
I'm not sure why I thought Last Guardian was the last of the big three from that year. I have no idea why.
Yeah, no, that was like the beginning of the thing where it's like, oh shit, Last Guardian is here. We had no clue that. Yeah, Final Fantasy. It was. I think Shenmue.
I'm ashamed of my words and deeds.
Final Fantasy and then Shenmue. No, that's fine, dude. That's fine. Like I said.
Oh, you're skipping Nintendo for 2015.
I forgot why, but I also just had a lot of things.
That's probably a weak year.
Well, and some of the Nintendos were too obvious because there was too few games. There was just too much of a focus on it.
Sony
2015 was also really weak. I remember looking at the lineup. I was like, yeah, this is...
Sony 2016, they opened with God of War. They closed with Days Gone, which was the second showing of that game.
Yep. Yep. Like I said, this is going to get easier as we go. Yep. Open with... Yeah, and the Days Gone was the really weird thing that does not seem like it was planned. Like, that was how it was supposed to be, because it was like, they showed Days Gone twice in one conference. Microsoft 2017. Microsoft 2017.
Yeah, I can't even think on the world they showed.
A lot.
Yeah. I gotta show me the list. I'm blanking.
The list got cut off. Alright. I'll just read it to you, because we'll review other things. Dragon Ball.
I mean, if you want to, you can just put the top of the...
Oh, yeah.
Top of this one.
Yeah. Where's the other one? Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh.
Yeah, it's cool. Okay.
Okay. We have Microsoft 2017, Dragon Ball FighterZ, Forza Motorsport 7, State of Decay 2, Assassin's Creed Origins, Anthem, Cuphead, Crackdown 3, Life is Strange, Before the Storm, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, and Sea of Thieves.
Do they end with Anthem?
Yes.
Okay. What did they begin with? There wasn't Fighters, because there's no way in the world they start with Fighters. They were definitely not Life is Strange. I know those were in the middle. They were hype.
I'm surprised. I didn't remember that they closed with Anthem. That seemed like that would be a middle thing, but Anthem was no big deal.
Yep. Was it Crackdown?
It was Forza Motorsport 7.
Ah.
They showed the car.
Oh.
They revealed the real car, the real life car.
Shame.
Sony 2017. Sony.
I don't know why I'm
2017.
having more trouble with the...
It's weird to think how long ago 2017 press conferences were.
Yeah.
It feels like it wasn't that long ago. That was both of these were in the Nerds at Large era.
Yeah.
We weren't doing live reactions. We were doing Blue Yeti, really shitty, edited post conference discussions.
I'm gonna beat myself up about whatever this is if I don't get it right. I'm not sure remembering. Show me the list.
You should at least be able to. Well, I shouldn't say that.
Having brain farts.
Okay, I'm gonna show him the list. Uncharted, Lost Legacy. Where am I? Days Gone, God of War, Call of Duty World War II, Horizon Zero Dawn: The Frozen Wilds, Monster Hunter World, Spider-Man, Detroit Become Human, or Shadow of the Colossus.
They close with Spider-Man?
They did close with Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah. Where are they open?
This one's a little trickier.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at these games. It's like, okay. Did they open Lost Legacy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they did. They had a whole orchestra thing out there doing like
Yeah.
Indian music and stuff, and like a bunch of different things for that.
Yeah, that's when. Was that the reveal for it?
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
pretty sure.
So
it
Chloe was in the hood and all.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I knew that was a thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. As I open. It's like no way they did God of War again. I'm looking at these. Like, I know like Shadow of the Colossus and Monster Hunter were in the middle.
But it is funny how many times an Uncharted 4 property was in the opening or close of this.
Nintendo 2017.
Nintendo 2017.
Mario ended.
Yes.
How to start?
I'll give you this much. This is the first game that was shown, but I'm pretty sure there was like some pomp and circumstance before, and like it was not just like boom game. I'm pretty sure. Might be wrong, but I did look at these today, so I think I remember this was kind of like technically this was the first one. Sure. Do you want to see the games? You got one of them.
Sure.
Yeah. We have Rocket League, Kirby, Super Mario Odyssey, new Pokemon game, Breath of the Wild DLC, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Metroid Prime 4, Yoshi, Fire Emblem Warriors, and Mario Plus Rabbids.
The Xenoblade?
Yup.
I was thinking that was like we knew about that game, so I didn't know that's how they started.
I think a lot of people were like, anime game.
Yep.
Because I think it did go on for a while.
Okay, they started Last of Us and
Sony 2018.
Yeah, Sony 2018. Started with Last of Us, and they
Yes.
ended with Spider-Man.
I didn't even put the highlights in here because like this is the only one day I didn't do any research for because I just knew and I forgot to even highlight it. But yes,
It's like it's obviously got to be one of the big four.
that was That was this is the weird year. All right, Microsoft 2018.
They ended with Cyberpunk.
Mhm.
They started with Halo, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Last one, Nintendo 2018.
Well, they obviously ended with Smash.
Yes, but what did they start with, Jeff?
What did they start with?
I did remember this one before I did. I didn't like think about all of these before I did the research, but I did think about this one, which I was. What was a big deal around summer, June 2018?
Man, give me a list. Sorry. I'm going to beat myself over right now.
Here is the list. The list is Fire Emblem Three Houses, Super Mario Party, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Hollow Knight, Fortnite, and Xenoblade Chronicles 2 DLC.
The Mario Party?
Fortnite on Switch, baby!
That's how they started, man. I forgot
That's
about
how they started the thing. It was Reggie came out there and talked a little bit, and he's like, and I'm super stoked to play some Fortnite with all you kids, and then the people dropped off the bunch. And we already knew it was coming because we had heard it leaked like earlier the day before, so it wasn't as big of a news. Well, there you go, Jeff. That was pretty fun.
Yeah.
It was a little harder than like I didn't like do this myself beforehand, so I really had no concept of how hard it would be. Like I didn't remember a lot of these, so.
Yeah.
But you have more of a memory than I do a lot of times. But you did pretty good.
Thank you.
There's a lot of these you were in nail immediately. Alrighty. Well, E3 is a coming. And again, make sure you tune in to twitch.tv/nerdsatlargegaming, youtube.com/nerdsatlarge, and the Nerds at Large Gaming podcast feed for all of our E3 coverage. It's going to be fun. I'm going to be there. Jeff's be there. Maybe Will and Jacob will be there for some of the actual covers, but they will be there for the prediction special, which is also coming pretty much this week. Get excited. All right. Goodbye, everyone. Shine a light.